call to order the regular school board meeting of the Madison Central School District this Monday, January 14th, 2019. Mr. Davis will record members present. And we do have establishment of a quorum is item number 3. And we do have a quorum along with Mr. Farrell joining us via FaceTime. So please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 5 on our agenda tonight is the approval of agenda, and there is one change to the agenda, which will be under number 9, personnel actions. We're going to have an additional request to hire Alec Bolche as the playground supervisor at $9.40 an hour. So with that change, I'd entertain a motion to approve the updated agenda.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Miller. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Hanamichael. Further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, nay. Motion carried. And on to item number 6, which is the approval of consent agenda items 7 through 9. Item number 7 is the approval of the minutes from the December 10th meeting. Item number 8 is the approval of bills, which Leah and Rob went through, as well as assisted by Sean. Any questions on any of those? Okay. Personnel actions for item number 9.
We have a couple requests for hires. Jada Baltazar as Title I, Title III pair at $11.40. It's not a new position, it's replacing the position that Andrew Fegan was in before we hired Andrew as our ESL instructor. Then Alec Balchi that we just added as a playground supervisor at $9.40 an hour. And then a resignation of Katarina Smith as a weekend custodian. That was effective on the 21st of December.
So I'd entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items 7 through 9. So moved by Mrs. Cecil.
Second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Miller. Further questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Motion carried. And on to item number 10, which is the hearing of delegations and written communications. Do you have anyone to address? Seeing no one then at this time, we will move on to item number 11, which is the administrator reports.
I'll touch on policy update. We just have the one update tonight. And the only change from the first reading when we get there is simply we added, for SIPA, we added Children's Internet Protection Act, just added those words, just so everybody understands what SIPA is. Governor Noem had her State of the State address last week. There are a few items that came up that would pertain to schools. Some of the things she mentioned were better career counseling in the middle school, to start on that. She had mentioned something about high school students joining the workforce for a week during the school year. Homeschool students, as far as ability for opportunity scholarship, there actually was a bill heard today in House Ed on that. Homeschool students was mentioned about no mandated testing, so I haven't seen a bill on that yet. Talked about expanded treatment and education services or additional mental health services. More civics in school, having to pass the U.S. citizenship test to graduate. And then, of course, you talked about foster care families needed. So some current bills right now that are out there, House Bill 1001, that redoes the calculations for special education. It changes it from a 3-year recalculation to a 2-year, which would be a positive because then it would slide up those dollar amounts in a shorter time frame for the recalculation. That was going to be heard today in House Ed. I'm not sure if it was. House Bill 1040. That was to allow the homeschool students opportunity scholarship program. That was heard today. A couple Senate bills pertaining to education. One was to adjust the inflation factor. That's Senate Bill 2. There's a bill out there to adjust the inflation amount of the special ed appropriation for the extraordinary cause fund, which has run short of funds lately, raising it from $4 million to $5 million in 2020 and thereafter by whatever the index factor is. And then Senate Bill 3 is creating a special education task force, and again, I don't think those have been heard yet. Aptigee, I'll ask Mr. Millage maybe to give us an update on where we're at with Aptigee and the phone.
Sure. So right now, we're in the process of migrating our current website over to the new website. Everything is going really well. John Forster, the other TechCo, has been working really hard getting everything migrated. He's got everything pretty much migrated. At this point, he's just kind of beautifying everything, and we're waiting for Aptigee to finish a few of their things on their end. If you wanted to, you could actually download the app right now on both iOS and in the Google Play Store. You just search for, I think it's like Madison Central,
Yep.
and then it'll show up with the little bulldog icon. You click it, you download it. You can start getting updates, but we're not really pushing any updates. I mean, like when I say updates, like, closures or any kind of announcements or anything like that, you'll start getting them once we start, but at this point, it's just kind of like a mobile site, so you can start viewing some of the things that are out there, so.
So we're hoping within a week or two that we'll be up and running
Yep.
on that, and
Yep.
we'll make an announcement once we're up to full speed on it, but every day they come in and talk about how we're gaining on it.
Yeah, we're getting really close. Like I said, John's got everything pretty much set. We in theory could go live, but Apigee's not quite ready yet, so.
So then when that is live, will all the stuff that's currently on the web, will that be deleted then?
Nope. Actually, the current website, it will actually still, all the files and documents will still be there. We'll just, when you just navigate, you'll just go to the new website and everything will be there, so.
Okay. That's the process that's going on right now, is getting that all moved over without losing it, so.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Briggs, do you have anything? Dr. Cook's middle school.
I have something.
Attached? All
I have
right,
something, Tammy, if I could.
yes, absolutely.
Just a reminder that last board meeting, we talked about professional development with Dr. Rohr, and we are set for February 4th at 5:30, and we will have him come in and we'll be working with the gavel training. So Monday, February 4th, 5:30.
Very good, thank you for setting that up. As I mentioned, Dr. Cook's middle school report was attached with some different information, geography and things like that throughout the last month, it looks like. Item number 12 is discuss the 2019-2020 district calendar.
Just wanted to put this on the agenda. We did this last year at this time. We've started to put, work on the calendar. We're looking at a somewhat of a clone basically to the last couple of years that we've had. So the starting date would be corresponding, would be the 22nd of August, that Thursday. The ending date would be the 20th of May. And buzzing. One thing we're looking at, a little bit of a change, we've had 4 days of in-service prior to the start of the school year. We're looking at the idea of maybe having that be 3 days instead of 4 days. But right now, those are the main differences in the calendar that we're looking at, and that we'll bring forward next month and for everybody to look at, but no major changes, I guess, that we're looking at right now.
And there's no action item on that, just
No.
as it's discussion
No.
at this point.
No.
So item number 3 is establish April 9th, 2019 as the annual school district election date to be combined with the city of Madison's election.
We currently have three positions that'll be open. We have Cecil, Tom Farrell, Cammy Sims. And then the city did their motion prior to allow us to join their election, if we so choose also, and that'd be the April 9th date.
So is there a motion to establish April 9th as the annual school district election date?
So moved.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Farrell. All right.
Time
Too
delay.
fast, John.
Time delay, Tom, sorry.
Further questions or discussion? And with that, then we share some of the costs and things like that when we
Yeah.
set it up with the
I'm
city,
sure that's
correct?
nice, yeah.
All in favor then signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Date is set. Item number number 14 is second reading for policy EHABA-R, administrative regulations for information security, acceptable use, and SIPA, webpage development.
So the only change in this from what was brought forward last month, you'll see in the first sentence, information security, acceptable use, and SIPA, and then we put in there Children's Internet Protection Act. That was brought up at the first reading to add that in, so everybody was familiar with what SIPA is. We deal with it a lot, so we don't think twice about what it stands for, but that way everyone is on the same page. So other than that, there were no changes from last month at all.
Is there a motion to approve policy EHABA-R?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Hunmichael. Is there a second? Seconded by Mrs. Cecil. Further questions or discussion? Hearing none then, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Motion carried. Item number 15 is an executive sessions in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, Section 1 for personnel matters. Do you have an idea of how long?
I don't think it'll be
Is there
real
one
long.
back in? Okay.
5, 6, 7 minutes at most, I would think, so.
Okay. So, is there a motion to go into executive session for personnel matters? So moved by Mrs. Cecil. Is there a second? Second by
Second.
Mr. Michael. Sorry, Tom. There may be an action item after this, and if so, about less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll open the door back
Around
up.
10 minutes of executive session, and moving on to item number 16, which is consider early retirement requests.
We had a request from Kimberly Seitz, 29 years in the Madison district, and would recommend approving that.
I move that we accept the request for early retirement and thank her for her many, many dedicated years of service.
Okay, so there's a motion by Tom Farrell. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Hunmichael. Further questions or discussion? Okay.
Once again, Kim, thanks so much for all you've done for the students of the district.
Yes, 29 years, all here at Madison Central. Thank you. Go Bulldogs, right? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I am abstaining from that vote, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You beat me, Tom.
Mr. Miller was abstaining. And then all in favor, other than Sean, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Nay? All right. Motion passed. Congratulations. Item number 17 is adjournment of the regular meeting. Is there a motion?
Move.
By Mr. Farrell, he's not gonna be beaten up again. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mrs. Cecil. Further questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, meeting adjourned.